All right, RC, just let us know when you're ready to go.
We're ready.
All right, let's go ahead.
Go for it.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Lava Crows. Where we last left off, there was a great escape from Colony, rescuing the Pixie Suka, and there were some discussions being had. I believe it was. I don't know, my page pulled up. Hold on. I believe it was Cassie and Kitlak who discovered that there were some strange modifications to the ship, and Shay, after they woke up from an enforced nap by Genevieve, uh, informed them that no, it wasn't the Drow, it was the Kender. Kitlak and not Shay, Cassie also installed some questionable uh, tech into the ship.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Absolutely fine. Won't blow up in their face at all, I'm sure.
Well, not with all those nat 20s.
True.
I mean, what really is the difference between a spacefaring vessel and a demonic motorcycle?
I guess we'll find out soon enough. Assuming you survive, because when someone actually thought to check and see if they were okay after 8 hours just floating there, Kitlak discovered 3 ships surrounding them, all with semaphores out, all arguing over who got to take the bounty.
Just some very frantic flag waving.
Kitlak
Some
is
very angry flag waving.
Kitlak is kind of at a crossroads. He's considering like waving out his semaphore flags and saying, "Hey, do I get a vote?" But he also figures that would be a good way to get fired on. So maybe being a bit of a smartass is not the play here. Kitlak.
And Shay had just been contacted by blackened heart surrounded by green fire. Just sort
Neat.
of waiting for her. In her mind's eye. Oh, yes, and Kitlak has been made captain by semi default?
Yeah, Kitlak doesn't want to be captain for clarity. He just kind of ended up that way because
No,
someone needs to
no,
be.
he asked for it. He absolutely
not?
asked. He absolutely did. He said I should be captain.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what happened. You got me there. So Kitlak is gonna head back downstairs, and in a polite tone, tell those present in the galley, not in the galley because most people are over in the helm. By the way, it appears that there are 2 ships just arguing over who gets to shoot us.
Which you knew, Shay. You saw that vision briefly before the Black Heart took over your vision.
Do I have any control over myself at this point, or?
Oh, yeah, you have absolute control over yourself. There is sort of a quiet urging that says, push me on the heart. You're not sure where that urging is coming.
And then just touch me till I can get my satisfaction.
What's her control over? Does she have any control over the armaments on the ship?
No, those are all manual.
Yep.
And I will remind you that it takes 3 people to manage 1 ballista and 5 for 1 mangonel. And you are a ship of 4. One of you is a pilot, and that's it.
However, one thing we do have is a ram on the front of our ship. And that is something that is very easily used by the pilot. So if you want to say punch it in the direction of one of those ships and just ram into them,
I need to see where the other ships are in relation to our ship.
Actually, that's pretty easy. There's space in front, but they have you. They have oh, let's see. What can we use? I can use that actually. Let's use this.
I believe
This
when you
isn't.
have the helm on, you can basically look at something from any point on the ship, correct?
Yep. Yeah. You do have. You just need to turn around to get a full 360 view. Um,
They look like mosquitoes. I hate them.
Basically, none of them are in position for the ram, but they are all in equally good positions to open fire and deal substantial damage to your sails, your weapons, your ship.
So Kidlack was up top. What kind of weapons did they look like they were sporting?
Let's see. One definitely. Well, they all definitely had ballista.
Okay,
Ballista.
ballista, yeah. So did they look like they had people on the ballista, like ready to man it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And there were three of them, not two of them, huh?
Yeah, I said there were three. You're surrounded by
Oh.
3 ships.
Oh, I thought he said there were 2 ships arguing.
No, it's 3 ships. They're all arguing with each other.
Oh, okay.
Roll me. Well, you didn't roll perception. So
Kidlack
what's
just
your
saw it.
passive perception?
13, I believe. Yep.
Roll me an insight with disadvantage, real quick.
All right. Gonna use my guidance on that. Bloopity doop doop. So that is 13. You said insight, so that is a total of 14.
The people that you recall seeing on the weapons were both either bored or looking like they were ready to say screw it and fire. You don't have long before this settles one way or the other.
And on the map, we're over Ya. All right.
You are still at least 8 days away from the Crimson, or not 8 days, 8 hours away from the Crimson Plateau.
Right on. These vessels look like they're faster than us, yeah?
How
Or
good?
slower.
How many spelljammers do you know? Spelljammer types do you know, Kitlak?
I would actually I'd argue a few because knowing the relative speed of spelljammers is probably a thing that's pretty essential for smugglers. Like, you want to know if the ship that you're running from is going to catch you or not. You know, smugglers are more of a run, not a fight sort of situation.
Okay, let's see. So you know that your speed is, I believe, 35 miles an hour. I don't have the ship stats up. Where are they? They are right
I
here.
find that to be so fucking funny for a spaceship. Like, ship
Well, right
speeds in
now,
D&D or something else.
right now you're in airspace. You're not on the astral sea. You don't have
Yeah.
FTL at the moment. Yeah, your current flying speed is 30 feet. There was, let's see, as you're recalling, you think one was a lamprey. So if they get close enough, they will just latch on. They have the same fly speed. One was a shrike. They can absolutely outfly you. And the other was just a simple flying fish, which isn't the fastest, but it's also 5 feet faster than your current speed.
Okay.
Shay, I believe they did tell you what they installed. It was a teleportation system. Is that right? You did mention that?
I don't remember if they told us about that.
Okay. Well, you knew it was a demonic component. This looks like a demon heart more than anything else. You can try it untested, see what happens.
I mean, we didn't hook up the heart, to be clear.
True, but that don't matter. It still communicates in one way, shape, or form to whoever is in control.
How
And
close are
how it
the
communicates, it knows how to do that through a demon. Given time, that may change.
how close are the mosquitoes?
They are all easily within uh 50 feet.
So, basic tactics. We have the initiative right now. What we need to do is we need to disable the motion on the fastest of the vessels, which remind me, wasn't the flying fish, it was the
It was the Shrike, which has which flies twice as fast as you do.
Okay. Well, we need to disable the speed of the Shrike immediately. That is our number one priority. Once that is out of the question, out of the picture, then we can attempt to dive down. Find how good are you at maneuvering in tight quarters? He's going to ask Shay.
Um,
Not a great answer.
how good is she? I'm actually
Evasive maneuvers were not really something that they needed to teach you. They were teaching you how to fly, how to go faster than light. You got some traumatic training early on in the last days of the ship, or rather, last day of the ship. But they also kind of yanked you out of that pretty quickly, because yeah, that was traumatizing. So you can try.
how much like a actual naval ship is this?
It's an airship,
Just in the
basically.
air. Just in the air.
You,
So it's very
yeah,
much like it.
very much. There's no water resistance you have to be concerned about, but there is a tipping point of if you push it too fast, too sharply, yeah, you will deal damage.
I'm thinking of the physics behind the what she can do with the ship.
What is keeping us aloft right now?
Technically, the will of the spelljammer.
Okay. So
They
is
put it
there
in hover, and that sort of just left it.
So is there an easy way to cut whatever that is and just drop us vertically down?
Oh, absolutely. That being said, it is designed to be safe.
Okay. What does that
So
mean?
you will drop, but it will not be like you're going 200 feet per second. It will be, you know,
It'll
basically
be
about
a
your
slow
speed.
fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got you. Okay. Um so here's the plan so far. Attack the Shrike, disable their sails, or whatever method of propulsion they use. They have sails, yes?
Yes, the Shrike has 3 sails.
Uh,
They are tricky because they are flat. They're not upright.
Flat meaning oh, they're like kind of billowed out to the side like wings, huh?
Yes. Let's see. Hold on. That's the wrong chat. There we are. That's a Shrike.
Oh, neat. Ooh, well, that being the case, we drop down, attack the Shrike. I'll be on guns, and I'll use my new firearm to do some damage to the Shrike's wings. We escape, outrun the slower of the 3 vessels, the Lamprey, and hopefully outrun the Shrike with its damaged wing. And then we attempt to fight the, what was it, the flying fish, person to person.
Shrike, lamprey, flying fish. All right there.
We cannot hope to win 3-on-1, but 1-on-1 is decent odds, even if we are less than ideally crude.
The demon wants to teleport.
That's a great plan too. But let's drop, shoot, teleport. Sound good? Okay, let me put it this way. Any votes to the contrary?
You have to get to the guns first. I can't
No
shoot the
problem.
guns.
I bring the guns with me. On my mark, when I yell
No,
go,
no,
do
the
the thing.
ship guns. You're not gonna do anything
I
with your
know. I
pea shooter.
understand. Shish. Pish. Acting like I don't know about ships and guns.
Once we start falling, it's gonna be more difficult to get to the guns. So get to the guns first.
Kitla, yeah, no, he's gonna go there. He's going to say, "On my mark," and he is going to plant himself
One gun?
right about, yeah, and
Cassie,
is going
can
to.
you do a gun too?
He's going to
Genevieve?
turn
No
his.
way.
He's going to turn his star rail into its ballista form and plant it on the deck.
Your captaincy is starting out off auspiciously.
Oh, absolutely. And is going to say, "And now."
She will drop the ship.
Oh, before he does
Hmm.
that, he's going to tie himself onto the deck with rope. That's a good. I forgot to mention that and everything else going on, but he's going to do that.
Okay.
Cassie is going to hold onto the rail with one hand and her tail.
Okay.
Mhm.
The ship drops 35 feet. Kilak, since you noticed, you do see that there's a sudden sort of, at least one ship has like crazy waving, and one ship absolutely shoots a ballista. Let's just see what happens real
I
quick.
want to say that Kitlak would have readied an action to fire when it dropped because that was his entire plan.
Okay. And you're aiming for the Shrike. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, the Shrike
'cause-
sails in particular. That's why he's dropping first, so they're on a flat plane, so he can shoot them from beneath.
Okay. Evens or odds, Tyler?
Evens?
It's odds. You're going second, but that's okay. The ballista was aimed at where your ship was. So now it's just a die to see if it hits a ship and which one. Because, yeah, accidents happen. Let's see. That is going to be a plus. Yeah, okay. So the ballista on the lamprey ship is going to shoot the flying fish ship, actually, and is going to hit.
I should have regen charges for this thing. Okay, good. Back to full charges. All right. Can Kitlak make an attack?
I'm just seeing if they actually do damage or they just shoot the ballista. They just shoot the ballista. It doesn't. Oh, I rolled the wrong dice. That explains it. Wait a minute. Can that actually even do it? Oh yeah, no, they actually do deal damage to the flying fish ship. Okay, go ahead and fire.
So rather than actually roll to fire, Kitlak is going to burn 2 charges to make the star rail into cannon mode, and then is going to burn an additional charge to fire a radiant beam from it. That rather than like actually have to roll to hit, is going to do a 5 by 100-foot line, and will need to make a deck save, which it being a sail on a ship, I'm not sure if it can make.
They actually, if you check your character sheet, there is actually a dex save. The way I've done Spelljammers is it is the ship's dex plus the Spelljammer's dex mod to see how efficient they are and how quick they are. But given that they start with a dex mod of 2 to 3, not many of them are very fast. So, what's that dex save DC?
It is a DC 16 deck save.
That is absolutely a no.
All right. So that is
So-
5d8 radiant.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Not going to knock that. That is
How far
30
away am I
radiant
from?
damage to
How
their
far am I
sail.
away from Kitlak?
We're on different decks, I believe.
I
Yeah.
can still see you.
Yeah, he's up above you.
I can still see you though. I have a reaction that if they're within 60 feet of me and I can see them, I can use my reaction.
You can use your what?
Reaction to do what?
Cast a accelerate decelerate to add an extra 2d6 to that.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Do you want to roll that? Or should I roll it?
I guess.
And how wide is this ship?
Same type of damage
So that's a
dealt by
total
the
of
triggering.
36 radiant.
All right, which sail are you aiming for? Left wing, right wing, or rear wing?
Probably. So left and right are the largest ones. Yeah.
They are. Well, no, actually, they're all about equal. They're all, while they're different shapes in terms of the rear versus the front. In terms of sail size, they're actually about the same.
Does Kitlek have an inkling of what the sails would be used for that differentiates them? Like, is the rear one more for turning, or you know?
Ooh, what would shipwright? What would be a good ship stat to roll on to determine if you know that? I don't want to say history, but I think history or
History's kind of a
investigation.
catch-all. I don't know. Let's see. They're both the same for me in either case, so I'll
Unless
just
you
say
can argue something
investigation.
else.
Maybe Arcana. I mean, this is like a magical ship sort of deal. Like, I don't know.
If we were on the astral sea, I would say yes, but we're in airspace right now,
Yeah.
so it's more mundane. There is a magical component, but that's just the part that makes it fly, basically.
All right. Roll in investigation. And no guidance because I can't do an action. So that's going to be a 14.
With a 14, all four of them contribute to the turn, but you're pretty sure the
3.
rear one contributes to. Sorry, 3. The rear one contributes to speed more than the ones at the side.
All right. Then you go for the rear one.
All right, and that was a total of 36 radiant damage.
Yep.
Not enough to incinerate it, but enough to deal damage to it. Luck die on how much structural versus just fabric. So that is a. I need to decide. Do I want it to be lucky for you or the ship? I'm going to say lucky for you. You actually manage to seriously damage the support rigging between the two sails at the back that connect it. Um, you've probably cut this thing's speed in half. It is now about the same speed as you.
And teleport.
She will attempt to teleport. She's never tried this before.
Okay.
Does it
So
need a
you get the-
destination, or is it what does she feel when she tries to use teleport? Is this like a
roll me Arcana or Insight. Either one works for you. How
Go
close do you want to be to
insight.
this demonic influence? Analyze it with Arcana, or just kind of feel it out with Insight?
Insight. Nice.
Huh. Okay, with a nat 20, you know this. The direction you are facing helps for a basic teleport. If you wanted to be tricky, you could try and teleport in a different direction. You just have to face it. You would have to face it. The ship would have to. But you are headed towards the Crimson Plateau, so you're already aimed in that direction. And with a nat 20, you do know that while it definitely wants to be used, it is not yet fully powered. It is going to take power, so you will have to expend spell slots to give it basically a jolt of power for this one time. You can choose to expend one level 1, a level 2, or a level 1. Do you have 3rd level spell slots yet?
I do not.
Then a level 1 and a level 2. Each total level that you expend will be 100 feet.
Okay, she'll use it all.
The
And
limit
hit the,
is
and
a
hit the
level 1 and a
gas?
level 2. Beyond that, you might make it explode.
Yeah, she'll do a level 1, level 2 for 300 feet, and then hit the gas. Well,
Okay.
gas. She'll.
Alright.
She'll start moving forward as fast as possible.
Those of you on the surface of the ship, and you too, Shay, you just sort of feel. You see like a green aura just sort of rise up and then engulf you all in flames. They don't burn or anything like that, and then a second later, you are 300 feet away. Shay, the heart literally dims to nothing. You know it's still connected, but its power has been spent. It cannot be used until it recharges properly this time.
Does she feel that she could, if she wanted to use it again, expend more of her spell slots, or does it still require regeneration? of
It,
Demons
with
part?
with a nat 20, naturally it requires enough time to pull power together to be used. Basically, you can use this once a day.
Yeah, can you sacrifice Cinder to go faster? I'm kidding.
There's not that sort of thing, but you do, since you used insight rather than arcana, your mental probing of, how the system works and what limits you can press, there is an invitation for further discourse. If you'd like.
Specifically to me, or to just open?
To you specifically. You are the spelljammer, and so the heart speaks to you. Or rather, the system.
Well, she jams spells into this whole thing, and she is going to go forward, dashing as fast as she, or that this whole thing might have been action or whatever. She's going to go for it as fast as she can.
Yep. To those of you at the top, you see that the trio of ships, it looks like the flying fish and the lamprey might be getting into it. You're too far to see, and you don't have a looking glass to zoom in. Meanwhile, the Shrike is debating. It seems to be searching. They are not facing your direction. They were the ones facing sort of away. I'm just going to do a quick perception check.
Aft catapult.
So the only ones who actually do see you are who notice what you've done is the living ship. However, the lamprey is currently their target, so they are not chasing you. Congratulations, you've set at least 2 not scavengers, bounty hunters on each other, and slightly disabled the third, who doesn't know where you are just at the moment. You got some time, but yes, moving at full speed is probably wise. What would you like to do now? I believe Cassie was going to try and attune to the sea helm so that we could have continuous travel, and Genevieve is taking her long rest.
Well, how close are we to the summit or the
7.5 hours.
plateau? Okay. I can't do that again, so you're gonna have to figure out how to keep those guys at bay.
Well,
There's an aft catapult.
that requires 5 people to shoot, yes. I'll keep on using my star rail if it's all the same.
There's you. There's Cassie. There's Cassie's friend. There's Genevieve's friend. There's the demon. The demon's out of power.
Kitleg is going to exchange a look with Cassie when Shay starts talking about the demon.
Oh, don't give me that look. You know what you put into the ship.
Uh,
Yeah, you do.
I.
Yeah, it's a little disturbing that he can see us, isn't it?
It's a little disturbing that he's talking to a demon. I'm more concerned about that.
It wants to talk more.
Not that concerning.
He
Didn't
just
we
said it
install the
wants
part of the
to talk.
demon bike into the ship?
Yeah, it's a part, like a metallic, like a machine, not like I didn't put the demon heart in
Oh,
there for obvious reasons.
Now you're worried about it. You can't worry about it now. You just have to deal with it. Just
I'm not
go.
worried about the machine. I'm worried about you and your mental health.
Record, I'm not
Now,
worried.
again, now you're worried about it.
Yes, quite. Let's just go fast as we can, and if they get too close, we'll shoot them. Sound good?
That is the aft catapult. I know it takes 5 people, but you're a smart person. Yeah, I said that.
We have 2 up here. 2 is
Kitlak's
less than
going.
5.
Kitlak's going to
Just,
reposition his star rail to attempt to like fire off the stern if anyone's coming to chase. Is anyone coming after?
Roll me a perception check
Okay.
with disadvantage because you are accelerating away and it's 300 feet. That's 300 feet is definitely the limit of
Guidance.
visual perception.
That is 11.
You have a -2 to perception? Oh wait, right. Sorry, disadvantage. I'm sorry, my brain hiccup there. No, not that you can see at the moment. Kind of wish you had a looking glass, but so far so good. You got lucky that time. Maybe don't just hover around in the middle of nowhere in the future.
Kitlak is going to ready his action to shoot at whoever is following them if somebody does have a trick that enables them to follow him if they get into range.
You do know once you reach the Crimson Plateau's airspace, there are no armed weapons or no weapons allowed to be armed on the Spelljammer for obvious reasons. That is neutral space. If you open fire there, you will be fired upon. And they have quite the anti-air weapon system.
Yeah, Kitlak is obviously then not going to keep on keeping on once that happens.
Yeah, you got a while to go. Cassie, what are you doing during this time? Did you want to try and attune to the Spelljammer helm?
I guess I'm gonna go downstairs and do what I was asked to do. I get to sit in the big chair.
She's sitting in the big chair right now. Unless you want the
Again, you
ship to
don't-
stop moving.
No, we determined that, or you were able to determine last time, that you are a primary user. You can add a secondary. They just have to literally sit in the chair for an hour to attune first. Thanks to your literal helmet, you can still fly the ship. So it won't slow down or anything. It just
This is the weirdest
Yep.
training helmet in the history of Spelljammer that I've ever known, which is not anything at all. But
none at all. Well, maybe your father can explain things better to you. Who knows?
Shay is going to take this opportunity while the demon heart is kind of expended or at low power to actually talk with it because she hopes that means she has a better chance of something, anything, or she'll have the upper hand in whatever.
Okay. So Cassie, you're just going to take a seat in the helm and start attuning.
Yep, that is correct.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Cassie can't wait to say make it so.
Fair enough. The heart isn't really there again. It kind of faded away as soon as it was used. Basically, it was a new system. The helmet was saying, "Hey, new system, test it out," because there wasn't any failsafe installed. When the Nat 20 let kind of sense that the system itself is not alive, but the remnants of the power from the demonic heart is what allowed it to be slightly sentient. You can follow those remnants and sort of just talk is the wrong term. There are, if you examine the system through your mental connection, remnants of sort of a green energy trail. If you tap into that, you could communicate with whatever's on the other side.
I mean, it seemed to want to talk, so she's going to try it.
Okay. Um, you have an option. You can willingly let the connection go both ways, so that communication exists, or you can resist.
As long as it's just communication, it's fine.
Right? Um, here is what happens. You get the sense of this isn't a fully sentient conscious thing, whatever this is, but it has a desire. And that desire is speed. It is fast. It hates being still. It is in agony right now. It sensed a chance to literally transform a citadel full of speeding ships and tried to take it, and now it is just literally in a stasis somewhere. It is screaming in its own way. That is what you get. But you also realize that as you're getting this, it is quietly probing around your mind and memories. Nothing invasive, just sort of what you are, what you can offer. And there is the screaming dies down just enough to sort of indicate exchange.
Questioning? Is it a question?
You think so. Are you open to an exchange? Would probably be the most, if it could if it could properly talk. That's probably what it's trying to say.
She's not going to commit. She's basically going to send maybe.
It is going to show you images of your ship of the day of the attack, what you remember of feeling those ballistae penetrate the hull of the ship, of people screaming, of the unexplained terror. And then it's going to show you the ship now, except the ballistae are bouncing off because there is something new about the hull, something tougher, something stronger.
Would this exchange be limited to Shay, or would it encompass Cassiolo?
Roll me insight or arcana.
Insight just feels more appropriate for a demon. This doesn't feel carnage to me. I guess it is, but insight just feels more. 9.
You are the spelljammer. This deal kind of involves you. This isn't like a normal demon. This isn't something that is trying to make a contract. This is something that is trying to escape its current hell, and it sees that you are a conduit to allow that. And its current hell is not being able to move, to go fast.
So the ship moving currently isn't enough for it, or is it that isn't the movement that it's asking for or craving?
Are you asking me, or are you trying to kind of push that to the heart?
I guess I'll impart that to the heart.
You get a brief moment of excitement at the thought of the heart being part of the ship. Nothing goes faster than the Spelljammer on the Astral Sea. There are different
Is it
speeds of Spelljammer.
So
But-
it's not already. Is that what you can glean from that? Is it it's not part of the ship already, even though it's installed in it?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me another quick insight.
Ten.
Okay. Um, basically, what you are able to put together is the heart is separate from what was installed. What was installed provided a way to communicate with the heart, but the heart is not installed into the ship. It is somewhere. You vaguely recall Kitlak picking it up at some point with a bunch of other bike stuff.
I mean, Kitlak straight up mentioned that he did not install the heart and that he had it, so you know that much.
Wait, Kitlak still has the heart? I'm sorry,
Yep.
I
That's
missed
what Kitlak
that.
said. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought that's what you installed.
No, what was installed was the teleportation system that was previously powered by the heart. Basically, if you had 8 to 12 hours, the demonic energy would have dissipated to fully assimilate the Spelljammer's arcane energy. Since that didn't happen and you gave it a brief boost, what was left of the infernal energies allowed a potential for two-way communication, which is what's happening.
It's gonna ask why it isn't talking to Kitlak.
It doesn't recognize the term Kitlak. It doesn't know what that means. You are Spelljammer. You drive. You make things go fast. This was part of a motorcycle. It is not necessarily a complicated thing for it to. It is not a complicated piece of equipment. It has semi-sentience, but it just really has a desire to go fast.
So can she determine that there isn't a greater will behind it? That it is that simple?
That one would be Arcana. You have no freaking idea. You know that some infernal bikes seem to have their own minds. You know, some infernal bikes are just equipment. As far as you can tell so far, it is a simple-minded thing that wants a simple thing in return. An easy
She's
exchange.
gonna-
It wants to go fast. It's offering, it looks like some sort of protection on the hull.
She's going to ask where best to install the heart.
You see an image of the helm, the chair helm, and you see
Where's the second best place? on the ship? That
there
one
is no other
aside, so
place.
that is the it's like the one place you'd be hesitant at this place.
Oh, and now
to-
you've got
to
a
do it.
problem nailing a demon heart to a chair.
It actually would not simply be a simple install. Like it would have to be. It shows the chair and then the heart carefully installed, so it's part of the back piece near the top. It would not be a simple. Believe it or not, it's less simple than the teleport system because you have to make sure all the energies sync up and don't go boom.
What if we installed it into Cassie? I'm just throwing that out there.
It
I
doesn't
rolled
know
at
what a
that one.
Cassie is. It doesn't know what a Cassie is, but it does ask, does it go fast? Or you get the impression it wants to know, is a Cassie fast?
Yeah, she's just going to project like an image of herself, and then make it robotic, and then place the heart where her heart would have been.
Why are you selling our crew to a demon?
You don't know what's going on.
I just,
The heart,
This is all your fault.
questions. Yeah,
The heart
clearly.
the heart actually has absolutely. As soon as you show a human body, it has absolutely no interest. Doesn't matter if it's robotic or not. Bodies don't go fast. It just wants to be a part of something that goes fast. Ships go fast. Bikes go fast. Other vehicles go fast. Humanoids do not. Humanoids are slow. It's actually kind of disgusted you would even suggest it.
She's just going at this point, just gonna say, wait, and maybe.
It goes back to its internal screaming that there is no real sound. You just know that it hates this. It hates where it is right now.
I mean, we only go 35 miles an hour. I feel you, buddy.
No, it's stuck in your bag of holding where it is literally stock still in
Uh-huh.
in a miniature dimension. It doesn't even feel the speed of the ship right now. It is in pain. Not even the potential for movement.
Wow.
Cassie, you're used to sitting still for a long time. You're used to sitting still for 6 to 8 hours every night, actually. You don't sleep. You just kind of go inactive for a long while.
You feel like you've
As
been
I
thrown
recall.
under a bus.
That sounds about right.
You feel the energies of the ship kind of getting to know you. This isn't like a normal attunement. You know that you're not going to have the full control of this. You can kind of feel that you are a backseat driver, if that makes sense. There's already
Yeah.
someone in control. But you are getting attuned to it. And as the hour comes to that last minute, when you start fully connecting, roll me a charisma saving throw.
That's the one you roll to not be possessed.
This is totally Kitlak's fault.
That is okay. I am going to use a heroic inspiration.
Okay. Don't get that double
Plus
Okay.
18. I've got a plus 0 to charisma, so
So 18. You feel yourself settling in. You feel that you are about to be a part of this ship, understand how it runs on a new level. And then you feel something in your mind go, snap. Nope. This is not where you belong. You do not belong on a Spelljammer. You are not allowed to leave the asteroid. No. And all your efforts to attune to the ship are gone.
such a shame. She was looking forward to mounting chairs from behind.
And roll me your
The Riker maneuver.
insight real quick.
Still think a bad bag.
Cassie, what's that total?
Oh, it didn't go through. I said 11.
11? You're not sure what that was, You don't think you have someone's attention on you. It's probably fine. Probably fine.
Yeah,
Go ahead and give me
probably
another
fine.
perception check with disadvantage.
Groovy. Gonna use guidance. And the days go by, and Kitlak is rolling threes. That's a 7, as it turns out.
Guys. We need to roll better.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a nat 1, I'll give it that, but not much better.
You don't think you're being followed yet, but you're also, everything is hot and reddish, and it all kind of looks the samey, so it's kind of boring. Yeah. Genevieve, you are having a very restful sleep. You're enjoying yourself. Yep, yeah, you are content. You are fine. You are missing all of this, and you're fine with it.
Absolutely.
Suka, you can hear her box open, and she's just gonna go. So we ain't blown up yet.
Who is that?
That's the pixie.
No, I know.
It lacks pixie.
Yes, I'm
I
RP.
don't own Suga.
Right. Okay. Well, we aren't dead yet. Okay, fine.
See, there's
Gonna go
another
back.
one that could have armed a catapult in the back.
Cassie, what are you gonna do? You have just found out that you're not supposed to attune to this.
So, okay.
Sorry, you kind of cut out there at the end. Could you repeat that?
So, Shay,
Yes. You can speak to me through the helmet,
yes, does not look like I can attune to this thing. There's something. Can't quite explain it. It's almost like a disconnect when I try.
Oh, it might be the demon heart. Or the demon technology. It did save us.
I think it might. I think it might be something other than that.
You know how to run a diagnostic. You can see if there's some sort of firewall or something keeping her out.
Yeah, she'll run a level 2 diagnostic.
It's just a diagnostic. Roll me an Arcana with advantage.
Look, if I want to Star Trek this, I'm going to Star Trek this, okay? Because I've heard.
You haven't got enough technology to do it yet. You're still in the Bajoran era simple ships. Sorry.
Oh, no.
We are
Sorry,
strong now.
what am I
We have
rolling?
lasers.
All you've got is impulse drives, kinda.
We are strong now. We have impulse drives.
Oh, goodness. Sorry, am I rolling something? Did you say?
Arcana with advantage.
$21.
All right. You're checking out, seeing if there's some sort of protective barrier or firewall or something on the Spelljammer to add a second pilot, and no, actually, the system is sort of waiting for a second chair,
Does
for
it-
lack of a better term.
Does it not recognize Cassie?
No, it recognized Cassie. If as you review the energy, you see that the attunement was going fine, and then something from Cassie turned it off.
It's. I checked the ship's firewall. I think the firewall's on your end.
Yes, whatever it is, I believe it is something to do with me.
Well, we either need we either need someone else to attune or make me a robot.
Well, the only other ones are Killick and Genevieve. I don't think that Cinder is capable of it.
Can you be captain and pilot the ship at the same time? That seems wrong.
Oh, absolutely. There are spelljammers who act as captains and captains who act as
That's
spelljammers.
no. Our being this with crappy rolls.
Ah,
We're
fair
we're
enough.
gonna we're gonna get through this crappy roll cipher.
I don't see why not. I mean, it would make sense that they're capable of doing that.
Didn't sound like Genevieve really wanted to, but she could. I'm sure she was capable.
I believe as long as you can use magic, you're able to.
Well, beyond that, she's just
Not sure if there's
capable
any
in
other
general.
restrictions beyond that.
Should we try to unblock you, or to be honest, you're the best fit for it. Just from
Why? Because I'm a
general,
robot?
no, just your general
Ooh.
arcana background, which is similar to my own or better than my own.
I'll see what I can do. I can't guarantee any results. I think
What do you need? You need
it
some
might have
help.
something to do with my employers.
Oh. Oh. Um. I wonder if. I wonder.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I designed these systems myself. It should not be doing that.
I hesitate to say this, but I wonder if my mother could help.
Your mother.
She had some deal. Would her mother be able to help in this situation? She knows spelljammers, definitely.
She knows more theoretical than practical. Like between her and her father, she was the idea woman. She made the things work, made sure the arcane equations matched. He was the builder, along with a lot of the other crewmen.
Right. So what I'm getting is she has knowledge of both, though. She has knowledge of the spelljammer. She also has knowledge of Cassie's employer, or some. She knows
She
that there's
interviewed
some
there,
knowledge
yeah.
there.
Yeah. Although what position she was interviewing for, you're not sure. You just know that she was deemed to have too high a moral threshold to work there.
Would you? I can get us to the plateau, without.
I'd really rather not go back there.
You don't want to go back to the Crimson Plateau? That's where we're headed. That's what the captain ordered. Or you just want to go back to your. You don't want to go back to your employer. Is that what you?
I don't want to go back to my employer.
And thus, I bring up my mother, who has knowledge of spelljammers and your employer, and might be able to help. Though she's not with your employer. She's on her own at this point. Not necessarily on her own, but not with your employer. She might. That's the best I can do. That's the best idea I have at the moment. If you've got a better idea, I'm all ears. But just putting that out there. Unless you really don't want to help fly the ship, I would really like you to help fly the ship.
Well, at least for the moment, we should get one of the other two to do so.
Well, we can, like I said, we can make it to the Crimson Plateau with no problem. So we've got time to figure it out. Unless those mosquitoes come back and disable us, I guess. I don't know. May I make a roll to determine whether, based on her experience on the Spelljammer, would they have just given up at this point? Is it more trouble than we're worth to try and come much farther after us?
Roll me your insight.
Good gravy, 10.
Could be that you're not worth it. Could be the bounty isn't worth it. Although they were arguing. Actually, you don't know much about bounties. I'm going to say so.
What
Could
would
be they
bounty
weren't
come
worth
up?
it.
Because if the bounty, if anything, would be coming from the elves, right?
That is the assumption.
Yeah, and those elves' pockets are pretty deep, right? And if they want us bad enough, well, it depends on the mercenary, I guess.
True, there was some competing mercenaries when you first worked for them. Well, not you, technically the rest of the group, and you just tagged along, but same thing.
She's gonna do it. Not Chippewa. She doesn't know what she's. Why are we scared of Genevieve?
Because she can turn into an owl bear and eat you, or a spider and eat you, or a lizard and eat you.
Look, everyone on this asteroid seems to want to eat Kender, so that's not new to her.
Tender, the other white meat.
She's gonna say to Cassie and Kitlak, we should not assume that those are the only mercenaries after us.
What? I can't hear you down there.
Yes, you can.
She can project her voice up
Yes, you
to
can.
anywhere on the ship. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm keeping my eyes peeled up here, Kitlek says.
You look to the dragon skeleton. You don't see why the other kobolds are so interested in it. It's just a skeleton of an enormous dragon that's impossible to envision being alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool that things come that big in terms of, life forms, but it's not something that needs to be the be-all, end-all as Kitlek sees it.
Yeah.
Oh, you've seen Space Whales. It's better. Cassie isn't able to help pilot the ship. I can currently get us to the Crimson Plateau, but beyond that, we're gonna need. If we can't figure out how to fix is the wrong word. Sorry, Cassie. To unblock Cassie's access. We're gonna need someone else to attune to the helm. Captain?
Are you saying that you want me to attune to the helm?
That is not what I said. Hey.
Well, what are the alternatives? We could put Suka in it.
Our alternatives aren't limited to the ship. We can get to the Crimson Plateau. So we could get another pilot.
This is true, Kitlak says, kind of scratching his chin with one hand. Would have to be someone we trust, though, and, well, trust is going to be kind of hard to come by.
I do have family in the plateau.
We're going
Does
to
she?
employ
Does she think her
family.
father? Does she think her father could actually handle piloting the
You
Spelljammer?
you already tried to determine if he would be willing to work on the Spelljammer, and you came back with you're not sure. You think he'd jump at it, but you don't know.
He'd probably jump at anything at this point. Just go for him. I'm just saying there's options. But if we do get waylaid anymore, then anymore until we get to the plateau, then my functionality with the Spelljammer is going to start decreasing.
How long does your weapon remain a ballista, Tyler?
That is an excellent question. Let me find out. It says it lasts until the temporary HP it gives me is lost, which the temporary HP is equal to my level plus proficiency bonus. So that would be
Long rest.
yeah, that would be 6, and then it says until that, or I fall unconscious, or I use a bonus action to dismiss it. So basically, as long as I
Now-
want, as long as I don't start stubbing my toe.
Now keep
Fair
in
enough.
mind that you should actually have 12 temporary hit points from earlier.
I do. Yes.
Okay, hit points don't stack, so those 6 are
No, but-
folded into your 12, basically.
Yep, I would imagine.
That was just Kitlak, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he was the only one around that when they were installing the demon thing.
Also, the demon wants to be installed in the chair. The demon heart.
What?
It wants to.
Have you heard of the myth of the armadillo known as Yannick? He wanted to go extremely quickly.
I don't believe
No.
I've heard of that one.
Are you broadcasting
Please,
this over the
explain it.
speakers for a reason?
Oh, yes.
You know the
It
story
was-
of the armadillo. Everyone knows the story. He wanted to go fast, and then he became roadkill.
That's what the heart wants to do. And
It wants to die.
it wants to go fast, and that's all it wants to do. And to do that, it is willing to help us in other ways, defensively? Question mark. Look, you two put that other thing in the ship. Just
Another
that's
thing
what
I didn't think.
Say that again, Cassie. Sorry.
The other thing didn't think. Or at least I don't think it did.
you don't think that the demon bits that you installed thought.
No, of course not. Why would it?
I mean, this doesn't seem to think much beyond going fast either. The side effects might be it might go fast when we don't want it to go fast. We would need like a demon heart limiter on it. Could you make something like that so that when we didn't want it to go fast, that it would not? It could not?
I can try making anything. I can't guarantee I can do it. How you would even install a heart into a machine anyway?
I figured you knew since you installed the other thing on there. Did you stop to question whether
it
you
was
knew
the
how to
heart.
do that?
It was
Did-
not a heart.
Well, I think hard is might be a bit of a misnomer. It's just more. She hasn't even seen this, has she?
I don't
Um,
believe that Kitlak has shown her.
No.
Although you were carrying it for a time, weren't you?
She was. Was she? She was on the bike at some point. Would she have that help her know what it is?
Roll me your history. You weren't really paying attention to the bikes with disadvantage.
Who is rolling that?
Shay.
7. Man, my rolls are just crap.
I mean, you know you're on an infernal bike, and you know Kitlak checked out the infernal bike remains. Probably something from there, whether it was a literal heart or not. I don't know.
So what you installed? I don't know what you installed either. What you installed was just tech. Is the heart just not tech or biological tech?
It's called a heart. I was assuming that it was a literal heart.
Well, that's how it thinks of itself. I don't know what it actually is. Kid, like, what actually is it?
Well, it appears to be a demon heart. So I think it's a bit of an accurate name.
Wait, have you seen the demon heart before?
I have it in my bag.
That's not the question I asked.
So yes, I have seen it before.
Liar.
Yeah, no. I mean, I had to hold it to put it in my bag, so yes, I've seen it before. Not sure why you're calling me a liar.
I mean, comparatively to this one.
Oh, you mean a different demon heart? No, why would I do that?
So you don't know that this is a demon heart.
I mean, I know that it's a heart. And
Like a
it is
literal
from
biological
demon.
heart. A biological heart.
Yeah,
Not like
the one in my bag is
mechanical-
biological.
So where did you get the mechanical parts to it? Did you rip it out of the heart?
No, it was all kind of pieces of a motorcycle. Do you know they put demon hearts in those things? Strange practice.
So
Kitlak
it was part of
says.
the heart. So it was connected to the heart.
Sure, why not?
But it is like fleshy.
Yes, it's a biomechanical organism. There are far stranger things out here than that.
A lava shark just travels beneath you that you can see. Or
Hey
rears
guys,
up
what's
and
up?
leaps out and over and well, it ate someone. Don't know who or what, but it definitely just jumped down and ate someone. But you don't care. You're about 100 feet up. You're fine. You should probably start inclining to get to the Crimson Plateau.
Yeah, so it's just, start inclining. Look, I'm trying to fly the ship and figure this out at the same time. So the demon, I don't even know how the demon heart is trying to communicate with me, even, but it must be through the technology that you installed it. I think. But it's trying to communicate with me, and it wants to be part of the ship. And it says that it could give us some defensive advantages, and maybe some speed advantages too. Assume to go fast, but I assume we don't want to go fast all the time, so but neither did the bike, right? So did the bike have something like a limiter on there to keep the demon heart from just making it go constantly?
Anyone who knows anything about the, let's see, you're interested in the bike, so I'll give you a straight Arcana roll, Kitlak. As an artificer, you also get a straight roll, Cassie. Shay, yours is at disadvantage because you don't know
I think
anything
I've
about
already I think I've already
mnemonic
rolled
guidance.
for I think I've already rolled for this, so I'm just not going to. And I'm relying on
Kitlak, who knows nothing about anything, gets a 24.
How's our artificer?
That was an Arcana roll, you said?
Arcana or artificer's tools, your choice.
For both of them, it's a 10.
Well, you did see the bikes were parked, so they weren't going fast. They must have a way to ensure the hearts don't take control of the machines. Kitlak, you held the heart in your hand. It tried to do a few things in your brain. It seems a little bit was left over, and, you know, they looked pretty cool. But yes, they were parked. They weren't in control. Some were trying to reach out and influence you. One almost succeeded. But they couldn't drive on their own, or at least none of the ones that you saw. From what you can tell, the structure that it's been built into is designed to ensure that its desires are not able to be expressed too powerfully, would be your guess. Like, you didn't know that it could even do that, and you were holding it directly, so it gave you some directions and tried to have you throw it into a lava pit. That probably would have caused some problems. Might not have. Who knows? So here it is again trying to influence control, but none of that was like verbal. There was basically some intelligence, but it was more like base instinct intelligence of we could do this and then this is here sort of thing.
Yeah, in general, don't listen to demons. Good general life tip. Don't.
Clarification, it's technically a devil's heart, but yeah.
Don't listen to devils either. It's just not good for anyone's health, really.
it's not a devil, it's a devil's heart. It's
Oh, yes, world of difference. Yes, yep, you got me there.
as opposed to the devil's technology that you installed on my ship.
It's a machine. Machines are machines are machines.
Human bodies are just fleshy machines.
That's right.
So that's human. There's no one human here.
Humanoid.
Just clarifying.
That's a terrible term. It's human centric.
Look, I'm putting it out there that it says that if we install it in the chair, that it can go fast, and it could give us some potential abilities. The ship.
You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and hand over the demon's heart to you, and then you can do whatever it is you or
I
that
don't
heart
know how to
desires.
install it.
Well, then you better talk to somebody who does.
You.
You think I installed anything? No.
You
I
just
handed the tools to
installed.
Cassie.
You just did. Seriously? Yeah, that tracks.
Yes, it does track.
But you made the decision as captain of the ship, which you said you were.
Man, this captain thing has a
But-
lot of drawbacks, making all of it your fault, Kitlak.
So do
Yeah,
we?
there's a
So
reason
do
that
we? No,
Kitlak
I'm
didn't
not
go
saying
for
it's your
it.
fault. I'm saying, do we install it or not? And
Look.
if we do want to install it, do we put some sort of fail safes in
This sounds like an
before we
excellent
sell it.
conversation for you to have with Cassie. Here,
We-
here's the heart.
Cassie
Kidlike's going to
is-
reach into his bag of holding and toss the heart down the stairs.
As you touch the
Just-
heart, you realize it doesn't react to you anymore.
Great, don't care. Heart downstairs. Kidlike's going to roll it down the stairs.
I mean,
It's
it's
like
in a
everyone
mechanical
loves a
box with
slinky.
glass, we think.
You're missing the point. If you're not going to make a decision, you should not be captain.
I'm trying to do my job. I'd appreciate it if you did the same.
Your job is to make decisions for the ship.
My job is to watch out and make sure that we don't get shot out of the sky.
No, that's
Speak of which,
that's a gunner's responsibility. That's not the captain's responsibility.
Suka's
You've
voice is
never
is gonna
captained a
suddenly
ship
ring out,
before,
"Did
have you?"
Someone drop this ugly black heart in a box.
yep, you can have it if you want.
Eat it.
I am not a knoll. I am not some barbarian. I'm not going to eat a heart. What, you think pixies eat hearts? That's because they do it at Mistmar sometimes.
Is the catapult ready? I think we need to get rid of cargo.
You don't have any cargo.
You.
Oh, that's real smart. The person who's going to try and find your crew.
A pixie crew?
No. You want a kobold crew.
Yeah, we could find one of those on our own.
Be nice, Kitlike's going to say warningly.
Who even is that?
She is an information broker, and you will treat her with respect. She knows quite a lot more about what's going on than probably either of us.
Okay. I don't know why you're throwing around this ugly heart in a box.
There's a lot of hullabaloo about it coming from downstairs, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore, so I figured, roll the heart in the box downstairs, and whoever's downstairs can handle the demon heart if that's what they so desire.
Oh, it's from the devil cycle.
Yes, absolutely. You should
He's the captain. He
talk
doesn't even
to-
know
go
the
talk
difference
to
between
Shay
demon
about
and
that.
devil.
Shay has a lot of opinions. Shay, no casual fantasy racism.
Look,
Not
we
permitted on my
all
vessel.
outrank the pixie here. Cassie, what do you say about this?
As acting captain, I've half a mind to promote the pixie over you.
I
it's
think it's
gonna
that time that I took
Veto.
a rest.
Suka is going to let out a whistle. Apparently, the time that they had in the box with Cinder is enough to teach them how to come when called.
Wow.
Cinder's going to come
Where
over.
are you going, Cinder?
What is Cinder's strengths for?
Let me look that up real fast. That is a 6, so -2 to the mod.
-2. Great. 1, 2, and you just hear, Shay, if you like, you can actually turn your head and see a pixie and the familiar working together to lift the infernal heart box.
And what are you going to do with it once you get it? She stops the ship.
They are going to slowly carry it around. It's taking a while. Taking a long while.
Cassie, recall your familiar.
Cassie, after
I
about
just
10
said
minutes,
I'm
you
going to
see
go
the
rest.
familiar.
Cassie already.
Sorry, Cassie already said that she was going to go rest.
They are going to bring it in here and drop it. And all right, go back to your creator. And Cinder is just going to let out a bit of steam and go back to Cassie. Right, there's your heart. Don't leave things lying around. That's dangerous. Honestly. They're just going to go back into the mess hall.
She is just going to stare them down the entire way.
Zuka don't care. But you stopped the ship, you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Hitlak, go ahead and make me a perception check. Shay, you can too. With disadvantage since you're trying to stare down a pixie that isn't even facing you.
Actually, come
Oops,
think of it, Cassie,
ignore
we've
this
been to
one.
the crew quarters. She knows enough.
$13.
Oh, come on now. That's a solid 10.
10 and a 13. Something on the horizon. Closing fast. You still got about 4 hours before you reach the plateau if you started back up again.
Why are we not moving?
Because the pixie threw the heart at me.
Okay, can someone who's not going to be a baby and throw a temper tantrum in a way that might get us killed take control of the helm? Cassie?
That is a negative.
It would not let me attune, and besides, I'm trying to rest.
Now, here's my problem is that if I don't get this ship moving, we may very well all die. There's something on the horizon. I don't know if it be friend or foe, but I am very strongly inclined to think it's foe.
You
We
haven't
need to
made a
move now,
contingent plan?
and if that involves me having my gun at your head the entire time, then that will be what it will be. Do you understand?
Kind of an empty threat.
No, because if we're not moving, we're dead, and if you're not alive and we aren't moving, that's pretty much the same thing, except I had the satisfaction of killing you first. Let's move.
That's what gives you satisfaction? Okay.
Also, you can live and man a spelljammer without use of your legs. So I might start shooting them first. Let's go.
Come and get this
Cassie,
heart.
now that she's aware,
And don't
Cassie, now
throw it
that
at me
she's
again.
aware that there's a threat.
There
Cassie,
is
now
a
that
demon
she's
heart
aware that
literally
there's
just
a threat,
dropped
is
on the
actually going.
floor.
Sorry, what were you saying,
Sorry,
Cassie?
Balkill.
Cassie, now that she is aware there is a threat, she's going to interrupt her attempt at having a long rest and come back out.
I'm going up to the deck. At least I can do something there.
Let's have this conversation on the Crimson Plateau, shall we? And she will start the ship back up.
Quite. There we go. Kitlak is up there just shaking his head. He's got one elbow propped on his cannon and he's holding up his chin. It's like she forgets that I come from the smuggler's school of captaining. You never endanger your crew, at least not the majority of your crew.
Oh, we didn't endanger anything.
Not talking to you.
You
I'm talking to
endangered it by
Cassie.
installing demon technology on our ship without asking.
Captains has to make bold decisions, Kitlak says, looking very smug.
But that was the
And it
only
did-
decision you
again,
seem
not
to
having a
want to make.
conversation with you.
I would just
Shay
like
is
to
just
point out that
infected.
our science experiment did work.
It did, yes. It was very well done. And I believe it might have significantly extended our lifespans. Not to pat ourselves in the back too hard here.
No, of course not.
Now, Cassie, is there something you wish to do up here?
Well, if there's something approaching us, I'd better be ready to defend ourselves.
Kitlak is going to indicate the spot on the horizon. Make of
It
that
is
what you will.
It is definitely following in that you can still see it, but it's not gaining as far as you can tell so far. Suka is
Let's
going
see.
to stick
Can't
their
tell what it
head.
is.
Suka is going to stick their head over the edge of the railing, not come up, but just kind of, you know, float up and just stick their head over. And right, so you need a crew, you need a spelljammer, and you need a captain. Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, I've settled into the captain role. I don't think that I'm going to trust anyone else to do that.
You
All
just
you,
threatened
all
to
you hear
shoot-
is
you just threatened to shoot your pilot.
Yes, I did. That's what a captain does on occasion if your pilot's going to get you all killed. Which is why we might need another pilot.
You want that one to be a kobold as well?
Look, I don't care as long as they're a good pilot. They don't even any of them have to be kobolds. I just want people who are going to cohese well and be skilled.
out of character. Is there a way that we could extend the she's use of the helmet to the point where we don't need a second pilot? Because it seems like you don't necessarily always have a second two pilots on a
You
spelljammer.
got pilot and co-pilot, right?
Yeah, I
That's
guess
something
so.
that you can definitely ask your dad. As much as you love the ship and you understand parts of it, you didn't.
But she
install
didn't learn
everything.
this. She learned this from her mom, though, not from her dad.
You learned it from both. They took turns piloting, so you can definitely have
Okay,
multiple people
that-
attuned.
That's not how I pictured her backstory, but okay. I pictured her dad just being very non-technical or non.
Oh, he's a botanist first, but this was an interest to his child. Of course, he took an interest in it. He's a good dad.
I'm not saying he's not a good dad.
His only daughter took an interest in spelljamming and how things work, so of course he took that up as well.
Then can you go to college?
College doesn't have anything to do. Don't take this the wrong way. Any idiot who can cast a spell can pilot a spelljammer.
Oh, this is
whether
a
they do it
trade
well
school
or not.
thing. Okay, I see. It's a trade school thing. I'm not knocking trade school because, man, those trade school people are making bank right now. But
Suka's gonna say, okay, if you want a kobold crew, I do need to ask, do you want the ones like at the inns and the hospitality, or do you want the other kobold?
What's the difference?
Didn't the other kobolds take you in, or did the cultish ones grab you first?
I mean, kobolds have always showed me hospitality one way or the other. Kitlak shrugs. But the ones I've had the most interaction with are the weird culty ones who keep giving me pamphlets.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that more of those, by the way, to recreate my bed stuffing. Anyways,
Kitlak just like grabs 20 of them out of one of his pockets and just drops them.
yeah, she'll
And-
collect those quickly.
and also there were those kobolds that got suborned. We don't want any of
Suborned?
those. Yeah, by that one dude that came to visit us.
Oh, yes, that interesting individual. I had almost succeeded on getting him out of my mind.
Well, we shouldn't if.
You hear a slurping in your mind.
Oh, well.
Look, there are a bunch of kobolds that were like you. They were on crews, they got abandoned, they got left behind, they lost everything. A couple of them hatched, and the cult kind of creeps him out, but the Crimson Plateau isn't exactly warm, welcome, fuzzy feelings, and the kobolds kind of run the warren. So, you're either in or you're out. So there's a bunch of kobolds that are out that are just, surviving.
I don't really care which you get, in honesty. I just want whoever's capable. Now, do I want to be running a kobold cult aboard the ship? Probably not. But if that's where you find the talent, then I'm not going to argue with it. Does that suit your purposes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that. Just, just wanted to check if you wanted more culty or more.
What flavor I wanted. You want extra cult with that? A little bit of worshipping the dragon on the side.
Yeah, I mean, we have to keep up with the mushroom orders to get the culty ones, but we can live with that.
Kitlak just doesn't know what to say to that, so he shrugs.
Yeah, the ritual eating of the shrieking mushrooms is part of their cult thing.
So what are you asking for this finder's fee?
Suka's gonna try to look at the deck and then look at Kitlak, and the finder's fee is I don't sell you out the instant we get to the plateau.
Sounds like a deal to me.
Doesn't that? Wait, no. That what?
No,
What?
Kitlak's going to take a hand and gently put it over Shay's face.
You're not there. You literally threw the box down. Like you're not there.
Kitlak is going to walk down the stairs first. You hear tap, tap, tap approaching kobold feet.
She
And then
locks the door.
Kitlak makes that noise and then covers your face.
She locks the door so you can't get it.
These
Yeah,
doors
sure.
don't lock. None
Bit
of
an
these doors
oversight,
lock.
that.
You can just pat the railing. Like Shay will feel that as a little fuzzy bump on
God,
their arm.
She's going to just whisper for Kitlak's the ears only. They obviously want something.
Yes, continued survival is a hell of an incentive.
Come on, you know better than that. You've been around longer than that. They want something.
Suka is a very straightforward individual in a way that I appreciate. Her needs are few and they are direct and they are intense. And if you can meet those needs, she has no reason to turn against you.
I don't believe that for a second.
Well, that's
Believe what
because
you
you're
will.
annoying and you give me a lot of reasons to turn against you. But because I respect my relationship with a certain kobold, I haven't done that yet.
You can't see it, but I've done a very eloquent bow.
Don't get anything out of this. What?
Okay,
That's why I suspect.
you got me out of a box that a tiefling stuffed me in. How's that? That's what I got
She's-
out of it. All the rest of the work is I'm not getting the bounty on whatever is on your heads when we arrive. That's simple.
She's trying to be even Stevens with us, if
Wait,
you haven't
what
noticed.
bounty?
Oh my gosh. Kitlak is just going to go back to ignoring the conversation.
Right. Okay. Look, I just wanted to confirm if you wanted the weird culty crew or you wanted some normal-ish kobolds.
I'd rather have gnomes.
No gnomes. Do you know what gnomes are in the universe of
You are
all the ships out
racist.
there? They are the joke.
Oof.
Half their ships fall apart, and the other half of them explode. You don't want gnomes on a ship.
I mean, she's unfortunately not wrong.
There was a gnome on your crew. He only had one eye, one ear.
Yes, we called him Old Onesie on account of all that, and he wore a onesie at all times, and we did not want to ask him about it. It was
Nope.
weird.
And then his
That's
cannon
weird.
exploded, and he was launched out like a cannonball, and no one really felt the need to go after him.
I mean, it would have made for a heck of a funeral if that was the way he died, and you don't really want to try and give a man a chance to upstage that.
Fine, let's go
He's
with
absolutely
nepotism.
alive and is stuck somewhere in stasis on the astral sea.
Good.
Fine, we'll go with nepotism.
Oh, I ain't throwing my family on this ship. I mean, oh my god. Between
I'm
you
talking
and
to
Kidlak?
you. I'm never talking to you.
Wow, rude. Just rude.
I don't even know how you got here.
I saved her life.
Then you should have just left them where they were.
To die?
Technically, it wasn't death. He was just gonna bilk me
See?
out of a few thousand gold.
See?
Close enough.
We could have left you where you were.
That's not untrue.
Look, the way I see it, if you really want to know, assuming you all survive whatever idiocy you're doing, you're going to come back eventually and need either information or have goods to sell.
I hope to whatever god you please that I never come back to this asteroid.
There are no gods in this. Well, there's the Fallen, but there are no gods in this asteroid.
Depends on who you ask. Check out the pamphlets. Kitlak's going to yell back down jokingly.
If I have anything to do with it, I will never come back to this asteroid.
I mean, if you go for the immortality systems, then yeah, you will be.
I haven't.
Well, at least one of you has.
Then they can try and get back to the ship in whatever way they please.
Wow. They're going to look at you, Cassie, such loyalty.
So it would seem.
Look, death is death. If you die, you die. This whole die and rebirth, and then we have to come back and find you? That's not. Did you all sign
Yeah, I'm
this
finding you
contract?
another pilot.
Did you all sign this? Did you all sign this contract? And is this part of the deal that if you die, we have to come back to the asteroid to find your whatever body you reclaim?
Well, I would eventually like to fix that little problem. But I can't do that while we're here.
But
Also not
is it
entirely sure
just
you can
you,
do
or
it.
is it all of you? Because I've refused this. Obviously, I mean, why would you not refuse this?
I mean, Kidlak hasn't done it, and he's nearly died, what, 12 times since I've met you?
Does Shade know based on when we went into the laboratory there, who actually has signed that contract?
Oh, Cassie's the only one with the contract for immortality. Kitlak denied, although he almost gave in with the chin and eardrum scritches he got. Genevieve has no interest. She has her own beliefs. And you're just not interested.
Well, until she got her ship back, it was a non-starter for her. I mean, but she doesn't go back to the asteroid. That's look, Cassie. I'm not saying that I don't. Wait. So where would we go? I don't even know where we would go. To your employer? You didn't even sound to be in good terms with your employer.
I would rather not go back there.
So we fixed that, and then we don't have to come back to the asteroid.
Yes, like I said, I would like to eventually fix that little problem. I can't do it here. I need
Okay.
supplies. I need knowledge.
Do you, Pixie? No, you're Faye. You could have some other deal.
She has a name. Keelhack's gonna yell out.
She has an egg?
A name.
Cassie, right?
And it is.
Yes, that's correct.
Tyler, please tell me those were fireworks.
Those were fireworks, yes.
Okay, I am going to rule that you were just firing your normal gun in annoyance randomly.
Sounds about right.
Okay, your employer is the big, scary, cybernetic dragon-looking thing, right?
Yes, that's the one.
Uh, let me see what I can dig up, okay? You'll owe me. We'll figure out what later, but you'll owe me. How's that?
Yes, I'm aware of how capitalism works.
Oh, I don't work in capitalism. I work in favors and occasional payment.
They're
Capitalism.
Faye. It's even worse than capitalism.
Geez, just tone it down on the racism for a moment.
Oh my goodness.
I'm also going to get you guys a sensitivity crew member to train all of you.
Please do.
This is the first ship I've been on that needs an HR department.
I'm just waiting for the devils to call me a racist.
Oh, devils will never call you a racist. They just call you on your bullshit.
Yeah, Satan's never called me a racist.
Look, I'm just trying to get your ship shape. It's a favor. It's fine. Maybe I'll join you, maybe I won't. But the important thing is, you can't really function like this on the Astral Sea. You go out there with this, you all are going to be eaten by, well, at this rate, scavers. And that's just humiliating.
See, my bet was murder comets, but that
Wait.
works too.
That was a holovid. Skivers aren't real.
Shay, you absolutely know scavers are real. Everyone who's been to the Astral Sea knows scavers are real. Everyone knows the flying.
Sorry, I
fish
thought you were
shark.
just making a Firefly.
No, they are. No,
Someone
they
say
are.
reavers?
They are actually.
Oh, those. Yeah, those are.
There are flying fish sharks out there of various sizes, and they will absolutely eat all of you,
Sorry,
especially if you're incompetent.
I thought it was a Firefly reference that you're making.
That's probably why they named them then, in all honesty. But yeah, no. And really, Kitlak, I'd rather you die by your own stupidity than by a fish eating you out randomly because, you're arguing with your spelljammer.
Yes, it does have a certain lack of poetry dying by fish.
Should we wake up Genevieve so that she can not care about any of this?
Oh, I think awake or asleep, she's doing about the same thing in terms of caring.
Right. Okay. I've got a list. I'll see what I can put together for the crew. Try not to, kill each other or let the ship get destroyed before we arrive.
No promises, but I will try.
Are you leaving now, or are you gonna wait till we get to the plateau? Because we're
I'm
already
going
there.
back
A couple
to my
hours
box.
out.
I'm going back to my box.
Are we not already there?
No,
You still
but
got
our
a
box
couple
is
hours to
here. We
go.
don't have to go anywhere
okay.
to get to the box.
Guess not.
It's an 8-hour trip. You've only spent like 3 hours in game so far. Maybe 4.
This is where John reveals we're going the 24 route and we're doing the whole thing in real time.
Yes, absolutely. That is now canon. Oh no. By the way, Shay, the Devil's Heart is just resting on the floor there, just randomly.
In the box still?
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely still sealed in the box.
Just gonna leave it there.
And with that, Suka's going to go back down. Shay and Kitlak, are you going to get back to arguing, or are you just going to fly the ship, Shay?
No, Kitlak is going to attempt to do what he was trying to do the whole
Okay.
time.
Por qué no los dos? No, shoot. She's tired of arguing at this point. She's not going to continue it. It's not.
Cassie, you try to enter, well, at this point, at least a short rest? Or do you try for a long rest?
I think all she's got time for would be a.
All right. Did you want to spend any hit die or anything?
Probably should. Let's see what I need.
I think Cassie would continue, not continue, but at some point start talking with Kitlak again, wherever Kitlak is.
Cassie would?
No, Shay. Sorry, did I say Cassie?
Yeah,
I was
you
wondering
said
about
Cassie.
That
I
doesn't
was
make
like,
any.
all right.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
We're swapping characters now.
That's a different episode. We'll get there.
Oh, it's just ventriloquism. It's fine.
Is that before or after the swimsuit episode?
Oh, jeez. Okay, she's at full.
Actually, the
Please.
self repairs don't work.
Okay, awesome.
That's weird. All the systems show green, but no repairs.
The one time I
That's
rolled
weird.
maximum on my dice.
I am sorry, but that is very weird.
Kitlak, can I talk to you for a second?
You've been talking to me this whole time. What's stopping you now?
This time, I'm asking. So if you choose not to, then I won't.
Wow, what a concept. Fine, I'll bite. What do you want to ask?
I wanted to talk, and that's what I want to ask. Look, I apologize for talking. I didn't mean to talk ill of kobolds. I don't. Before I came to Astra, I didn't know kobolds at all. I didn't know a lot about them. And look, I was just trying to. The last time, I was just trying to just point out that the kobolds did get suborned as a group by someone. They've obviously got their uses, and look, it's not.
They've got their uses.
Sorry, I'm bad at words.
Look, if you want to apologize, the place to apologize is for stopping the ship and risking the lives of everyone in the crew. That's the place to apologize. If you're going to, like, I understand that you want to make amends for how you've seen what you perceive as my people. And that's fine. That perhaps needs an apology as well, but that isn't my priority. If I am to be captain, my priority is to keep the crew alive. Any squabbles, any bickering, anything beyond that is, I hate to say it, but trivial. If you're going to endanger the crew like that ever again, I cannot have you pilot this vessel. Do you understand?
I promise that will never happen again.
Wonderful. That's all I ask. And now I accept your apology for that, I assume, and for the vague racism against kobolds. I am more than aware of our ups and downs as a species and of our collective failings and strengths. I don't necessarily need an outsider to illuminate me on those points.
And also, I was just trying to warn people about how the Fae work. I wasn't trying to be. Maybe it is racist that I said that about
Yes,
the Fae.
generalizing all Fae by one rule. Perhaps
Oh,
next time
come
say
on.
the High
That's-
Fae. That's a
that-
cultural subset.
I am not sure that that's actually true. Look, they just work by different rules than we do, right? Well, can we agree on that?
Look, every culture has its own rules. and
Like the
mores.
devils,
Yes.
they work by a different code. It's still a code, but they work differently than us. And I'm just trying to, given my limited information about who this person is, I'm just trying to inform
Generalize.
people. That's all I can do. Are you saying that we shouldn't be worried about what a Fae is going to do?
I say that worries have their place in the hierarchy of things. Worrying about survival when all our necks are in the noose is a much higher and more important worry than, oh, somebody might twist my words later on down the line. We stay alive now so that we can have those worries then, one thing at a time. As for Asuka, I trust her. I don't think any Fae code or Kobold code or any sort of thing like that. We're all out here in wild space. We're all mixed together. Some of us have species or cultural unity, some of us don't. Who can tell what our cultural proclivities are? You have no idea about Suka. You just met her. Give
That's
her
fair.
time.
That's fair. May I ask how far you do trust her?
Well, farther than I can throw her, that's for sure. And I can throw her pretty far.
Well, that
You
says a
promise
lot,
to
doesn't it?
never mention that again.
Yep, and that's why we don't go drinking together.
I will trust Suka as you do then. If you will also trust people that I have vetted in the same way.
I will do, I believe, as I always have. I will sit, I will take the long view, and I will let their actions speak for them.
That is not what's going on here.
Oh?
You are asking me to take Suka's loyalty on your word.
Yes.
I'm only asking you to do the same for me.
That is perhaps a fair proposal. Kitlak nods. Yes, I'll until I am given any reason to suspect otherwise, which I'm sure I will not be, because I trust your judgment to a point.
Wow, I don't
will
even trust my judgment.
Like I said, to a point. I will I will trust who you trust, as our unity is our strength.
I think we need. Thank you. I just. I think what today has shown is that we're not working very cohesively as a unit, like we should, and like I've seen, and I'm sure like you've seen on Spelljammers, to make them. To make the whole thing. To make sure many people don't die.
Yes. I believe that we might have had different styles of captaining, it occurs to me as well. You said that you flew this ship with your parents. I imagine there was very little threatening to get shot in all of that, and I apologize if that came off unexpected or more frightening than I intended. it was a fairly normal thing amongst the smugglers if somebody was doing what you did. And I just hope that I don't feel inclined to do that again.
I think we were both at wrong in that situation.
Yes. Well, now, I am glad that we can talk through this like adults, and I didn't have to waste any bullets, and we are all still alive in protected airspace.
Okay. Yeah, just keep an eye out, or well, we'll all keep an eye out, I guess. I guess Cassie went to go rest. I guess
Yeah,
it's you and I
Kilak's going
and
to-
Suka. Or is Suka actually doing anything to? I didn't mean like that. Is Suka help? What's her?
Suka's helping. She's just taking a rest. She's
Okay.
deserved one, as have we all.
So where are we on the skeleton crew? It's just the two of us. Just putting it out there.
I'm sorry, out of character. I missed what you said.
It's just the two of us that are on duty, and we're kind of in a dire situation.
Well, sure, but that's why I'm topside right now, manning the gun turret that my pistol can turn into. He just says vaguely to the air outside him rushing by.
Okay. I mean, I can only do so much if something comes upon us.
Well, that's why
We're-
we wake the others if something happens.
You're the captain. I'll trust you. I will be at the
Appreciated.
helm, getting us to the Crimson Plateau.
Very appreciated. Hopefully, this town won't be under siege by a lot of angry elves, mad that we put bombs in their foreheads.
Oh, the elves still might be waiting for us.
Oh, I'm sure they're very mad and very explosive in equal parts.
Genevieve.
Hi,
apologize that
RC's
you've
here.
I apologize that you've had so little time this week, but I will say that you had a lovely dream. It's been one of the most restful sleeps you've ever had. There's something about the movement of the ship, apparently. You never knew that. However, just before you wake, you get an urge to go to the market. Maybe get a kebab. I think there's something there for you.
Let's all go to the market and get
Market
ourselves a kebab.
Got it.
And you're going to wake up just as you arrive in the tower airspace of the Crimson Plateau. Next week, I think we're going to spend some more time with Genevieve, and we'll figure out what happens next. Maybe Cassie will figure out what's going on with her, too. Thank you all for joining us, and have a good week, everyone.
Thank
You
you.
too. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.